Hold up. Wait a minute.
This is Carla Renata, aka the Curvy Critic, and I shoot straight from the hip.
Yeah, you know I'm always shooting straight from the hip.
Let's take a trip around the curve. Hey, everybody, it's your girl Carla Renata, aka the Curvy Film Critic. I can't get this together. All right. Hey, there we go. Now we can see everything. Anywho, hey everybody, how you doing? Hope you're having a wonderful weekend. I move over a little bit more. I have been out of the YouTube stratosphere for the last couple of weeks. I've been traveling. I've been at some film festivals and things, and I'm going to talk all about it. But for those of you who have never been here before on this channel, The Curvy Critic, I'm Carla Renata, The Curvy Critic. And what I do here is I do interviews with talent above and below the line in the film industry, and I do some film reviews. And when award season rolls around, I give you some tidbits and, little glitter and glam into the award season. After this, I'm going to run over to an Emmys after shindig situation. But before I do any of that, I want to tell those who are just joining me, click the bell for notifications. If this is your first time joining, give me a thumbs up to let me know that you were here. And I also want to thank anybody that's watching this that is a Screen Actors Guild member. We had our elections over the weekend, and I got elected for a second term as a SAG convention delegate. So thank you for that. And I look forward to doing even more hard work in these next 2 years. All right, having said that, today is Emmy Sunday. We're going to talk about the Emmys and what's happening. I'm going to give you a little bit of scoop on what happened at the Telluride Film Festival and the TIFF Film Festival. TIFF is short for Toronto International Film Festival, which celebrated 50 years this year. But we're going to get into the Emmy stuff first, and then I'll go and backtrack to the to the Emmy nominations and what's happening there, because it goes live at 5, and I want to be able to go there with you guys and watch it with you guys. So what I will say about the Emmys is, let me go back to the Emmys. What I will say about the Emmys is, it's looking like the best comedy is going to be, well, my prediction for the best comedy is going to be The Studio. I watched the show. It's streaming on Apple TV Plus. It's freaking hilarious. It makes fun of the business. So, of course, people in the business are going to think it's hilarious. It got a record number, 23 nominations, and it's already taken home 9 of them at the Creative Arts Emmys, which happened a couple of days ago. I'm predicting that The Pit, which stars Noah Wyle, is probably going to take home the best drama series situation, because that show has been getting a lot of attention. Noah Wyle has been getting a lot of attention. I watched the show because I am a Television Academy member, and it's really good. I enjoyed it. For best drama, I feel like they should win because they got 13 nominations, but Severance is right on its heels. Severance got 27 noms, more than any other show this Emmy season, and will probably take home the prize because it's already picked up 7 at the Creative Arts Emmys, where The Pit also picked up 2. The limited series / anthology is hands down going to go to this show right here. It's called Adolescence, and it stars Owen Cooper and Aaron Doherty, who are pictured in that particular photo. And I also predict that those 2 actors will take home the supporting actor and actress in an anthology or limited series, because this scene right here was fantabulous. Like, this scene right here is the scene that makes that show everything that it is. I'm also going to predict that Kathy Bates is going to keep her streak going and win for Matlock as leading actress in a drama. I've probably said this before, but maybe not. The Penguin could have their shine dulled just a little bit because and they've taken home 8 wins already at the Creative Arts Emmys. But I predict that their shine for anthology series is probably going to go to adolescents. And what's going to happen is, they'll try to spread the love, and they will give leading actor and actress to Kristen Milioti, who's pictured there, and my boy Colin Farrell, who plays the title role. What else did I want to talk about? And you know what? I'm just gonna come back on camera and say this. For supporting actress in a comedy series, can we let Janelle James take home a statue? Like, Cheryl Lee Ralph has taken it home twice. And honestly, Janelle James is the funniest thing on the show. No shade to anybody else on there, but that girl is hella funny and she's not even trying. Can we just please give her an Emmy? I'm like, how hard could it possibly be? I also predict that Ike Barinholtz, pictured there, is probably going to take home the supporting actor in a comedy series for the studio. Hands down, he's freaking hilarious in this show. And when it comes to lead actor in a drama series, I want my boy Sterling K. Brown to win for Paradise. He's so good. He really, really is. But Adam Scott or for Severance, picture right here, Adam Scott or Noah Noah Wiley from The Pit could upset that win. Did I get through all of them? I think I got through all of the and then I think I got through all of the categories. Let me just scroll down here and see. Leading actor in a comedy. I'll come back on camera. Leading actor in a comedy. Can we just give Martin Short an Emmy? Can we, like, he's hella funny in Only Murders in the Building. Why can't we just give him an Emmy already? He's so freaking hilarious. Oh, and then of course, Jean Smart is going to hold it down in this category. She's been holding it down for years, and she's possibly going to continue her winning streak in this category for lead actress in a comedy. All right, so when the awards, what's happening? Okay, so when I went to the award season usually begins around, let me break down the award season for you. So award season usually begins around around May when the Cannes Film Festival starts. And then we start to hear about the 15, 10-minute, 20-minute standing ovations. I think one film at the Venice Film Festival broke a record for a standing ovation for 25 minutes. I don't even know what film it is because I don't pay attention to the standing ovations. It's almost like they're trained to do that over there, to give really long standing ovations for films. But what I will tell you is that season starts with Cannes, and then in tandem at the same time are the Venice Film Festival and the Telluride Film Festival. The Venice Film Festival goes down in Italy, and Telluride goes down in the mountains of Colorado. The Telluride Film Festival is a very intimate film festival. There's no glam there. There's no publicists there. The stars are really low key. They're walking down the street. It's very low key, and everybody's just kind of chill. Nobody cares what you look like. They don't care what you're wearing. They don't care if you got makeup on, if your hair is done. They just literally are there to watch movies. And I would like to refer to it as a film lovers film festival, because it's the type of thing where people literally are just there to watch the movies. Everything is walkable. You can do your thing when you're there. There's no Ubers or anything like that. So I suggest that you get a place smack dab in the middle of Main Street so that you're equal distance from any one of the theaters, because the walks are easily 10 minutes in either direction. Having said that, I had some favorites coming out of Telluride, and I was fortunate enough again to be on assignment for The Wrap and for RogerEbert.com. I had assignments for both. For The Wrap, I did a review on Ballad of a Small Player, which stars my boy Colin Farrell, who hopefully will win his Emmy tonight. That's a Netflix. That film will be coming to Netflix sooner than later. I also reviewed Hamnet, that has Paul Mescal and Jessie Buckley in it. Hamnet also took home the People's Choice Award today from TIFF. It didn't win anything from Telluride, but the People's Choice Award at TIFF is a big indicator of how the award season is going to shake out. And usually, whoever wins, whatever title wins the People's Choice Award at TIFF goes on to win Best Picture when Oscars roll around. So Hamnet is coming up, and that was one of my favorites. It won the People's Choice Award at TIFF. Frankenstein came in first place, right behind it at TIFF, and right behind Frankenstein was Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery, all of which I've seen, all of which the reviews you can see if you click on that link down there, thecurvyfilmcritic.com, that they're there. Otherwise, you can go and find my reviews for Tuner, Ballad of a Small Player, and Hamnet at The Wrap. You can find my interview with Ethan Hawke that I did for RogerEbert.com out of Telluride. He had 2 films at Telluride, Highway 99, which was it was called Highway 99, an album, because it was kind of done like a 2-part album back in the day, and like with an A side and a B side. And it was a tribute to Merle Haggard. It was fascinating to watch. Really, really good. Really, really long. It has a little intermission, but it was excellently done. Blue Moon was his other film. Ethan portrays the lyricist songwriter Lorenz Hart the opening night of Oklahoma, where they're celebrating with Richard Rodgers, his former music and collaborator. And Oklahoma, as we know, went on to be like a classic musical. But we catch Lorenz Hart at the end of his career. He's been drinking a lot and all of this, and Ethan Hawke plays the title role expertly, I might add. He's so good. He makes himself a little shorter in this film, and when I asked him about that, he says he feels like, sometimes tall people don't have to go out of their way to be seen, but sometimes shorter men just want to be seen, so they do all kinds of little crazy stuff to be seen. But I don't want to tell you about the whole interview. I want y'all to go watch the Emmys in a little bit, so I'm gonna try to keep this short. But my interview with Ethan Hawke is at RogerEbert.com, and my interview with Daniel Rohr, who was the Oscar winner this past award season for Navalny. He is the director of Tuner, and my interview with him will be on RogerEbert.com. So that takes care of that. But let me show you, and then let me tell you what I did this week real quick. So when I got back from the festival, and I'm gonna get back into the festivals. When I got back from the festivals, I didn't see this film at the festival, The Smashing Machine. From left to right is Dwayne Rock Johnson, Emily Blunt, Mark Kerr, who Dwayne Johnson is playing in the film, the director and the moderator for the Q&A that was at the Directors Guild earlier this week. Word on the street is that this film, where Dwayne Johnson literally is life imitating art, he's playing a UFC fighter, Mark Kerr, who basically paved the way for somebody like Dwayne Johnson, who was in the whatever is, child, I ain't nothing about no sports. So the fighting organization that Dwayne Johnson was in, Mark Kerr literally paved the way for him. But it's like life imitating art. He's playing someone in a sport that he's very, very familiar with, but having to reach emotional and artistic depths that he has not been allowed to do in his acting up until this point. He's actually very good in that film. It's called The Smashing Machine. Again, The Smashing Machine. It played at both Telluride and TIFF. And it is an A24 film, and it also played at Cannes. It was one of those films at Cannes that got like a really long standing ovation. I also went to go see Kiss of the Spider Woman. Now, there's always so much hatred about Jennifer Lopez online. I don't know why people be coming for that girl like that, but she is excellent in Kiss of the Spider Woman. It's like the role was tailor-made for her. And I went to see a screening of that also at the DGA. That has not come out yet. It played at the Toronto International Film Festival last year. It was not there this year. It is on its awards run right now. It's just revving up and starting. But I always predict that Jennifer Lopez is going to get an Oscar nomination. I predicted it when she was in Hustlers. I predicted it with the film that she had last year. I'm going to predict it again. Whether or not it happens, we don't know. So that's what I did last week. But while I was at at Telluride, this is what Telluride looks like. So that's the main That's the main street in Telluride. You can see those pictures. It looks like a little postcard. It looks like an old postcard. It was unusually cold this time. Usually it's a little bit warmer, but it was unusually cold in Colorado this time. I was like, oh, this is cold. At where I saw Hamnet, which I told you won the TIFF award, and it stars Jessie Buckley. I talked about Ballad of a Small Player with my boy Colin Farrell. I talked about Ethan Hawke. Another film that was at Telluride was called Jay Kelly. It's a Netflix film, and it stars George Clooney. This film, again, is another film where it's life imitating art, where he's playing this really famous movie star who's at a crossroads in his life. Now, I don't know if George Clooney is at a crossroads in his life, but he played the hell out of that. And then I came home for a day, packed, repacked, and went on off to the Toronto International Film Festival, where I got down with the opening night of The Eyes of Ghana. This is a excellent, excellent, excellent documentary. It is about how it was a president of Ghana who was also a filmmaker, and he had 300 reels of film that the government there made him burn. But unbeknownst to the government, he didn't burn all of it. They sent some of the reels to London, and they were digitalized and kept there. And so this young lady, along with Chris Hesse, a 93, Kwame Nkrumah's cinematographer, who's 93 years old, this young lady, Anita, and Chris Hesse got the film back, digitalized it, refurbished the Rex Theater in Accra, Ghana, and they did a big screening of all of these pieces of film that people thought were destroyed, that basically explains Ghana's history. This film is important because it documents how a government is trying to erase the history of a people, which is very much what is going on here in America. And for that reason, I think everybody should watch it. It's produced by Michelle and Barack Obama's production company, Higher Ground. Y'all, I'm telling you, this film had me in my feelings. It was excellent. Then to unwind a little bit from all the movies I saw, K-pop Demon Hunters is a big deal on Netflix right now, and they had a little karaoke situation that was hosted by my girl, Jen Yamato. So we got down and we did that. And then I hopped on over to Sony Pictures Classic, who had a dinner, and I sat down, me and Jodie Foster, honey, we gabbed for a good hour. She is thebomb.com, and we had a great time. She came out of it calling me Hurricane Carla. I'll tell you about that some other time. And then I had like a little reuniting of sorts with this young man, Rami Malek. You guys know him from Mr. Robot. You know him from Bohemian Rhapsody. Rami Malek and I were on a sitcom on Fox called The War at Home that starred Michael Rappaport and Anita Barone. I have not seen Rami since that time. And when I walked up to him and I said, I got 3 words for you, War at Home, he remembered me immediately and hugged me so, so tight. It was so wonderful to see him and to break bread under those circumstances. And thank you, Sony Pictures Classic, for the wonderful dinner. I also saw this film called Roofman. It's about this ex-military dude who's trying to figure out how to put food on the table for his family. He ends up breaking into McDonald's through the roof and then ultimately ends up on the run and hides out in a Toys R Us for like months. While he's in this Toys R Us, he falls in love with one of the employees pictured there by Kristen Dunst. Her name is Lee. This is a true story, y'all, and it's crazy as hell. But I do have the cast from Roofman, and that will come up in a couple of weeks closer to the release date, which I believe is September 26th. Wake Up, Dead Man Knives Out. I went to see that. I was at the opening night of that. I also went to the opening night of Hedda, which starred Tessa Thompson. Hedda is a reimagining of the classic play Hedda Gabler, and Tessa Thompson is playing the lead role. It's directed by Nia DaCosta. It was a wild ass ride. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. That shit was wild as hell. It was so freaking wild, but I had a good time. I also wanted to tell you on my way, so I met some really cool people let me come back on camera. I met some really cool people while I was at the festivals. on my way to the airport, or on my not on my way to the airport, but while I was at the airport, I ran into Jason Reitman. Jason Reitman is related to Ivan Reitman from Ghostbusters, and he was also the director of Saturday Night, which came out last year when I was at TIFF. What's hilarious is we go to the airport for this charter plane. They didn't have our information, so he and I were kind of standing there hanging out, and he asked me where I was from. I told him I was from St. Louis, Missouri. And then he goes on to tell me more about St. Louis, Missouri than I ever knew. And I grew up there. It was pure comedy. When I got to Telluride, would run into Jason every once in a while, but it seemed like almost every screening I went to, Colin Farrell and his beautiful sister Claudine were there. So we got really friendly and we talked a lot. And I love both of them because they are just so not Hollywood. They are so down. If I didn't know better, I would swear Colin Farrell was a black man. It's because he was telling me about Black Girl Secrets. I'm like, what you know about Black Girl Secrets, Colin Farrell? It was funny. Guess you had to be there. Anywho, today, now that I've gone through all my little, wait, did I go through all my little film festival stuff? Let me see. I think I did. Yeah, I did. Okay, so now that I've gone through all my little film festival stuff, this is what we're going to talk about today. I told you I'm going to have the cast of Roofman a little later on, but I'm going to talk about, oh, I did want to tell you this. When One Battle After, and I went to see One Battle After Another too. Baby, when that film comes out on September 26th, y'all are not ready. Sean Penn, he about to get him another Oscar nomination. That's all I can say about that film right now. But we're going to talk right now about The Long Walk Home. I'm also going to talk a little bit about The Roses, because I missed that one before I left, with Benedict Cumberbatch and Olivia Colman. And then I'm going to get into this film called Waltzing with Brando. So let's get into that one first, because that one requires a little bit more explanation. So Waltzing with Brando follows Marlon Brando, who's played in this film by Billy Zane. And Brando at the time was then the most famous actor in the world. He had filmed Mutiny on the Bounty, and he had bought a tiny little uninhabitable island in Tahiti. And his intent was to escape his hectic Hollywood lifestyle and show the world the path to sustainability by this island that he bought in Tahiti. But in order for him to achieve this goal, he becomes friends with this guy named Judge, who is a Los Angeles architect, and he convinces him that together they could build the world's first truly sustainable ecological retreat. Now, what is funny about all of this is that, let me come back on camera so that you can hear me talk about that, so you're not staring at this picture of Billy Zane as Marlon Brando, because you're like, what? When Marlon Brando first traveled to Tahiti in the early 1960s, when he was filming Mutiny on the Bounty, he fell in love with the Polynesian culture, and he fell in love with his co-star in Mutiny on the Bounty, Tarita. She became his third wife, right? And so they lived on this island. It was called, I even in the movie, I was like, what's it called? Tesharoa. I'm gonna say it's Tesharoa. And they go through the whole process. They flip back and forth between how he met Judge, how they all got together to try to build this sustainable community. And it's actually a wild ride, because they flip back and forth between footage of Billy Zane doing some of the famous scenes from Mutiny on the Bounty, Apocalypse Now, The Godfather, all these, from The Godfather, not a famous scene, but a scene that shows the more mischievous side of Marlon Brando. The scene where he puts the orange in his mouth as Vito Corleone, and it's right before he has the heart attack in the wine vineyard with his grandson. If you've seen The Godfather, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, what I will say about Waltzing with Brando is that Billy Zane as Marlon Brando, it's bananas, because he is transformative. You think that you're actually it's so crazy how much he channels that late actor. It's bananas. The highlights and the reenactments of interviews that he did with Johnny Carson, where we find out about his contributions to civil rights, his views on the environment, and so many other things is really quite enlightening if you didn't know that much about Marlon Brando. And it's almost like a cinematic ad for moving to Tahiti, if I'm being honest. The film is corny. It is corny, 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 but it is very engaging and it's a beautiful story in the manner in which it's told. And I enjoyed it for that reason. Marlon Brando died in 2004. And he and the architect stayed friends up until that time. Again, y'all, the movie is called Waltzing with Brando. Let me find a picture. It's called Waltzing with Brando. It's beautifully, beautifully done. That is Billy Zane as Marlon Brando in that picture. Isn't it crazy how much he looks like him? And then this is Billy Zane with Tarita in the movie, again, looking just like Marlon Brando. And this is him in a picture as Vito Corleone in The Godfather. That is not Marlon Brando in this picture. That's Billy Zane. Isn't that bananas? Bananas. Okay, cool. Now let's get into Miss Long Walk Home. Let me tell you a couple of things about Miss Long Walk Home. It's a adaptation of a Stephen King novel, and this is the thing about Stephen King. Stephen King, I had to look this up because I'm like, I feel like I've seen a lot of Stephen King adaptations this year. Y'all, there have been, let me see, there have been five, I want to say five properties of Stephen King just in 25 that have been adapted. The Long Walk is one. The Institute, which I did interviews from that earlier this year, is another one. Welcome to Derry TV series, which is coming to HBO. The Running Man, which is coming to theaters in November, and The Life of Chuck. So that's five. So there's five properties alone, with the Long Walk included, that are coming, that have been adapted from Stephen King novels. People are all about Stephen King this year, for some reason. I don't know why. But The Long Walk was a novel that was published in 1979 under the pseudonym Richard Bachman. So Stephen King didn't write it under his name. He wrote it under the pseudonym called Richard Bachman. And the current film adaptation is directed by Francis Lawrence. Having said all of that, this is a horrifying annual contest in a dystopian like future America where 100 teenage boys are encouraged to participate in a nonstop walk, with the last survivor winning a life-changing prize. The only hitch is, while you're doing this walk, you can't slow down below a very specific speed or you get shot. The stress I had watching this movie, I was stressed out beyond an inch of my life. It was bananas, bananas. But what I would tell you is I was really compelled that this film was shot. 3/4 of the time, these guys were walking the whole time that they were shooting this film. And I was like, wow, I was compelled that these actors spent, now, they probably cut and did some pickups and stuff from here and there. But for the most part, these actors are walking and talking the entire movie. It was like the Hunger Games for walking. If there was a way to describe it, it was like the Hunger Games for walking. There's fantastic performances by the entire cast, but specifically from Judy Greer, who we know as a comedic actress, but she's been hitting them dramatic notes lately. And I'm hoping that she hits something that really kind of hits for her, because I think she's really exemplary at what she does. Mark Hamill, y'all know him as Luke Skywalker in Star Wars. He is frightening and scary in this movie. Like, you will not like him in this movie. He's so mean. Cooper Hoffman and David Johnson are the two that end up they're the two stars of the movie, and everybody in the movie is good, but these two young men are really quite stellar. It's kind of like a buddy horror thriller film, but it has this message of how far would you go for money, for peace, or equality. That's the message of this film. Every time somebody got shot and them guns went off, I jumped in my seat. I could never get used to that sound. But if you have not seen The Long Walk, it's been in theaters since September 12th. That's only a couple of days. I highly suggest watching it. It was really, really quite something. It was good. All right. So while I was at TIFF, I was able to do a couple of things with the morning show. One of them was I got to speak to Oscar winning nominated actress Marianne Cotillard, who I love. I adore her work. Nicole Bahari and Karen Pittman. They are so great in this show. Really, really wonderful, stellar work in this show. So, what I will do is I will let you take a look and a listen to this interview I did with the ladies, and then I'll come back and talk a little bit about the roses. Okay? I really, really love you on the morning show.
Oh,
I've
thank you.
seen quite a bit of your work, and I know that you are compelled and drawn to very complex, confident characters. But this time, girl, you've got shenanigans. You have got shenanigans. So I see Celine as somebody who's beguiling and confident, and she seems to struggle at the same time with the morality of her decision making for the sake of family. Would you say that adequately describes her, or do you see her differently?
Oh no, well, you described her as I would describe her. So spot on. Yeah, she's a very complex character, and she has to prove a lot. And she's struggling in between proving herself to be good enough or even better to be in charge and to fulfill the expectations of her family, but at this and being like owning her power, and at the same time she just want to like have the recognition of her father, who's this like very powerful person. And so yeah, no, I mean the description was absolutely perfect.
Yay!
Yeah.
Let's strive for that. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the AI portion of this season because it's a lot going on, and AI is very prevalent in our industry right now. So, you're basically a character that's leading a station to embrace AI in terms of providing the ability to communicate in all languages as UBN prepares to go to the Olympics, right? Do you think that AI will replace anchors in traditional media moving forward, or do you think the impersonality or emotion of it will save us all?
You know, it's funny because I'm kind of scared of like certain aspects of AI. And I think it's a fantastic tool, as like many technologic revolution we saw in the humanity world. But at the same time, I think, I mean, it depends on obviously how you use it. But I had this conversation with a friend like 3 days ago, and he said, "Oh my God, your job is at stake. I could like create my own world, and I create a character and I dressed her." And I said, "Okay, what was the story?" And he told me a little bit about the story, and I said, "Give me AI that gonna bring me to tears. Like, give me a story and a character and like an actor or character. I don't know. It's not even an actor, but when an AI character will bring me to tears, I'm gonna really freak out. Not yet, but and also, I mean, I never use ChatGPT or any of the AI like tools, but each time I was around friends who used it, um, I was never moved by like lyrics or a text, or I never was moved by any poetry, or, and I hope it's going to stay this way. I know it will not. I know that at some point, maybe the AI will be able to deliver like a magnificent and moving poetry, but I'm kind of happy to be in that world where it's not able to do this. And I don't know how I will react when I will read like an amazing poetry and someone will be like, well, this was AI. I think I would freak out. But that's the way it is. We'll see. We'll see how wise are human beings.
I'm with you on that one. That is one.
Hi,
Carla.
how are you?
I'm good. It's good to see both
Good
of
to
you.
see you.
Yes,
I saw you a
absolutely.
couple weeks ago at the AFCA Awards.
Oh yeah,
I saw you.
I was trying to get to you. I couldn't find you.
Well, you found me now.
I found you now. So you guys, there's so many things I could say about your roles on this show, and it hits me in particular because I am a culture film expert over at Fox 11 LA. So I have some sense of what your characters go through, but in a different capacity. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
So I'm just wondering for you, in this particular situation, the news and the broadcast is only as good as its producers, right? And oftentimes as a talent, you find yourself wanting to change the place that you've come into to make it better than it was when you stepped into it, but it ends up changing you. So how has you embracing these roles on the morning show changed you?
For me, how has it changed me? That's such a great question, Carla, and it's so layered.
Thank you.
I think it's changed. I should know this, but honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. I think for me, what it's changed is the feeling how universal one's walk can be. You know, I have related to Chris in many ways, and maybe it's just my protection of her and embodying her. Sometimes I feel like I'm her, you know what I mean? Like you're really in it. And then I step out of it and realize that like so many people of so many different walks of life feel connected and understand this thing so deeply and feel connected to it. This person, and then I'm watching her journey and I'm watching his journey, and I'm like, oh wow, these people really are able to galvanize minds and hearts and just draw in all these different people with the storytelling. And I think that is what you sign up for as an actor. Like that's sort of the gift, that connection and feeling like your work can land somewhere. So I think I just learned that like we're so much more connected and so alike, even though we're so different. That's really the biggest thing.
Yeah, I think that's true for me too. Nicole's such a fantastic actress. I mean, she really lives through that empathic experience that we all have as actors. I'll say one of the things that I've learned is and I've taken from Mia is this incredible perseverance to continue to stay in it, even when you feel like you can't. And I think Mia's been in the morning show for many, many years in order to make a difference in the lives of the people around her. She has been, I've said this other places, the invisible hand on the scale of equality for so many people who have worked at the morning show. And of course, in season 4, we see her make a different choice, and that was fun to explore. But for the time that I've been on the morning show, I've really learned from Mia's perseverance and her patience.
I love that. In closing it out, I want to congratulate you, Karen, on Forever. You were fantabulous. And Nicole, equally for you in Love Brooklyn.
Yeah,
I love
thank you.
I'm so sorry I didn't get a chance to talk to you with that, but I'm talking with both of you now. And thank you so much for giving me your time. I really appreciate
Thank
it.
you, Carla.
Thank you for your
Appreciate you. Great
time.
question. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
All right, y'all. So that is the morning show. It will premiere season 4 on September 17th. The morning show on Apple TV Plus is on September 17th. I have another interview with Jeremy Irons from the morning show, but it has a spoiler in it, so I have to wait before I bring that one to you. But trust and believe, me and Jeremy Irons, we got some shenanigans. All right, let's get into the roses. This film is directed by Jay Roach and stars Olivia Colman and Benedict Cumberbatch. It is a reimagining of the 1989 classic, The War of the Roses, with Kathleen Turner and Michael Douglas, based on the Warren Adler novel. Now, this couple makes life seem picture perfect. Theo, played by Benedict, Ivy, played by Olivia. They have successful careers, a loving marriage, great kids, But baby, a tinderbox of fierce competition and hidden resentments soon emerge when Theo's career nosedives and Ivy's own ambitions take off. What I'll tell you about this is that this film is hilarious. It's so funny. It's really dark humor, but it's really quite funny. It's like a British version of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, if you can imagine that. Just put that in your imagination and kind of let it, fester. You'll get what I mean. And it also speaks to the fact that married couples, and even couples that aren't married, people that are together in life and in love, sometimes they'll put their lives and their dreams on hold to uphold their partner, right? And what that does sometimes, depending on who the individual is, it can grow resentment, it can grow rage, it can grow misunderstanding. And when it gets to the point where it's rage and misunderstanding and resentment, shenanigans ensue. The film was fun. I enjoyed it. I laughed my booty off. And it was really great to see Benedict and Olivia do roles that weren't like, some classic piece or some really serious drama. It was kind of like a dramedy in a lot of respects. But it's called The Roses, and I enjoyed it, and I wanted y'all to know all about it. So if you can see it in a theater near you, please get yourself over there to see it. Be on the lookout for The Smashing Machine with Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt. Keep your eyes peeled for Kiss of the Spider Woman starring Jennifer Lopez and Tanatua, who is fantabulous in that film along with Jennifer Lopez. Keep your eyes peeled for Ballad of a Small Player, which is coming to Netflix. Keep your eyes peeled for Jay Kelly, which is coming to Netflix. Keep your eyes peeled for The Eyes of Ghana, which is a documentary film that is fantabulous and is coming to a theater near you. Please do not miss it. I'll be coming back talking about Roofman in a couple of weeks. I'll be talking about One Battle After Another in a couple of weeks. I'll also be talking about Hedda in a couple of weeks with my girl Tessa Thompson. We've already talked about my girls Nicole and Marion and Karen, who were in The Morning Show. And when I come back, I'm going to talk a little bit about another film that I saw at the film festival. It's called The Man in My Basement. It stars Corey Hawkins and Willem Dafoe. Let me see, what else am I going to talk about? Yeah, and then I think I'll have that Jeremy Irons interview for you guys next week. So that's it. This went a little bit longer because I got a little chatty than I had wanted it to. But the Emmy Awards are coming up. The 2025 Emmy Awards are coming up at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. It is coming on right now, so I'm going to run and go watch that, and then I'm going to put my clothes on and get my hair together and go to my after Emmy shindig, which I'll tell you all about next week. So thank you so much for joining me. Again, if this is your first time joining me, give me a big thumbs up to let me know you were here. Click that bell for notifications if you are on YouTube. And I will see y'all next time. I know I haven't been here for a couple of weeks and y'all may have missed me, but whether you watch it in real time or whether you catch it after the fact, I appreciate you. Thank you so very much. I really, really appreciate you stopping by and supporting me. Oh, and if you're in the Los Angeles area, tune into Fox 11 LA on Wednesdays, every other Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. I'll be talking about my film festival shenanigans and some things happening locally in the LA area that might be fun for you guys to do. All right. So love, peace, and hair grease. Until the next time, y'all. Deuces.
Hold up. Wait a minute. I wish you love, peace, and hair grease. Love.